I'm with Travis and Kevin from Zipper Interactive. We're here to check out Socom 4. We got the demo all queued up. Guys, welcome to the stage. So the delay, of course, you saw earlier, we were trying to get the move working. We got big stage lights. Travis, talk to us a little bit about, Kevin's got the DualShock in his hands.
Well, Socom 4 can be played with either the DualShock or the Move. We started development only with the DualShock, and then the Move was really an easy add-on. The way the buttons are laid out and the way the technology works, it was really a seamless fit. So the full game can be played either way. Today, though, we're going to show you the DualShock version.
Excellent. We're looking forward to it. Now, Socom 4, give us a quick overview of what you guys are trying to do with this entry in the venerable series.
Well, obviously, the series has been extremely successful. Over 12 million copies sold worldwide. Zipper is super excited to bring the first fully featured Socom experience to the PS3. And we're looking at this as really an evolution of the franchise. Of course, the franchise pillars of team-based gameplay, authenticity, and innovative multiplayer, we want to uphold those and evolve those. We're also bringing some key new ingredients to the table. Things like a more cinematic, story-based single-player experience, more advanced enemy AI, we're going to see enemy squad tactics, and of course, PlayStation Move support.
Sure. It sounds like you guys got a lot on your plate. Now, talk to me about what we're going to see in the demo. Actually, it looks like it started right now, so let's cut to this cinematic, which is happening.
We're opening with one of those big wow moments I mentioned. We're going to have a lot of these in the Socom 4 campaign.
And so some tower just got knocked over.
Well, we're in the middle of a city that's undergoing a revolution. We're in Southeast Asia. The insurgents, known as Naga, have just knocked out that tower. And we're playing the role of the Nato operations commander. He's sort of like the ultimate in-field battle commander. He has access to real-time intel, airstrikes, and commands an international team of special forces. We're going to go up on the first enemy here, and Kevin's going to demonstrate our stealth kill system.
Nice.
So, take a moment, Kevin, and let's look at our teammates. We're supported by 2 U.S. Navy SEALs and 2 members of the 707th South Korean Special Forces, which actually includes a female operative, because in real life they actually have female special forces. So we were excited to bring that to the table.
Absolutely. Yeah. A little international cooperation.
Oh, we've been detected. So Kevin's going to give some quick contextual commands, order our teammates to cover there. And we're going to see Naga there, the enemy forces, doing a bounding maneuver. Again, you're not going to see enemies behaving individually, but rather as a cohesive unit.
The bounding maneuver being flank, advance, flank, advance.
Exactly. It was sort of like lay down covering fire, move up, lay down covering fire. We have flanking as well, suppressing fire, and just a whole array of enemy tactics. And a lot more that you'll see throughout the campaign.
All right. And so he's coming up over the crest now. This is clearly a war-ravaged city.
Oh yeah, we're in the middle of it. And really what you're seeing here is something unlike anything we've ever pulled off in a Socom title before. Just the level of action, the scale of the environment, and the conflict. You're going to see the destructible cover system here. Enemies hiding behind cover aren't safe forever. You can use grenades and explosives to take out the cover. In this case, for reinforced Jersey Courier, it takes 2 explosives to take it out. You see that the vehicles are also destructible.
So they are.
So the player can take cover as well, and that's something important to us, is we wanted to do a cover system that was really fit Socom. So again, no blind firing, because that's not what real Spec Ops would do.
Right.
And also the destructible cover system, so that you can't just sit there and camp out all day.
Sure. Sit there and be the armchair quarterback.
Exactly.
You guys go shoot those folks.
So this is one of our in-engine cinematics, all rendered in real time. We captured the voice acting and the motion capture at the same time to get the best possible performance. And also all the camera work was captured by a real Hollywood cinematographer who worked on some really big Hollywood hits. So again, this is part of really delivering the best story that we can in this Socom title.
Right on. Now it looks like he's getting some intel right now.
Yeah, so some allies are under fire. Enemy armor is pulled up, so what he's going to have now is you're going to have access to real-time airstrikes to take out some of these enemy troops.
I was about to say, you might be in trouble behind that flimsy concrete barrier if the armor rolls into town.
Exactly. So throughout the campaign, the player will have a lot of opportunities to utilize all these different kinds of air assets to take out key enemy vehicles, installations, and enemy troops.
Now, during this cinematic, before we jump into gameplay, one of our users has written in here from Lincoln, wondering, how would this sort of feel a little bit different for Kevin if he were using the Move?
Well, I think the Move creates a really immersive experience. It's intuitive, it's immersive. So I think that the main, obviously you can do the same game actions with either controller. The full game is supported either way, but it really just makes a more immersive experience. And you can see Kevin having fun calling in the airstrikes, wreaking havoc on the enemy forces. This is one of the most fun parts of the game.
A really quick and immediate way to turn the tables.
Exactly. So we completed that objective. Now we're going to move on. Enemy artillery is bombarding our allied fleet offshore. If you actually look out at the fleet, you can see them taking hits from the enemy artillery.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to go deeper into the city and hunt down that enemy artillery and take it out.
Help give your ship some cover. Now, you've got a fire team with you. One of our users, username Slayer, has written in wondering about any cooperative elements of the gameplay.
We don't have any announcements on any of our multiplayer at this time.
Fair enough.
We came to E3, we're so excited about single player, I really want to focus on that.
There you go. Now, he's behind a taxi here, but like we saw earlier, that could blow up if he takes fire.
You got to pick your cover carefully, right? Because obviously with any sort of vehicle, particularly one that's already damaged, the thing could get destroyed at any time. In fact, let's take a peek here at this next area and you'll get a little sample of that.
Yeah, you can see your. Oh, hey! Is that the sample you mentioned?
Yeah, that's the sample. Good timing, huh? So again, this is an example of just all the sorts of different enemies we have in the game. We have enemies with rocket launchers, obviously. And these guys can be used in different ways to support the enemy tactics. So, I mentioned bounding and flanking. Well, what is bounding and flanking like when a rocket guy is supporting him? It changes the dynamic quite a bit.
And it changes your response to it.
So with all these advanced enemy tactics, something that's important is allowing the player to counter with their own tactics. I think that's something that separates Socom 4 from a lot of other shooters out there, is the fact that you are in control of your team. This is a thinking man's shooter. So something in Socom 4 we have now are quick contextual commands. It's never been easier to command your teammates. You see Kevin just designated a target for your buddies to take out. You just simply use the D-pad and you can issue these quick commands. And it really allows you to orchestrate your own tactical play. In the following area here, you'll see a little better example of that as well. So we're coming up on sort of a big reveal, and again, I think this particular reveal speaks to just the level of, graphical fidelity and just overall scale that we're able to put in this title compared to previous Socom games.
Sure is looking sharp.
So you get a sense of, you see that tower that we saw before in the distance there. Again, this is a city undergoing really a state of war. So we got some unsuspecting enemies there. We're going to utilize our quick commands and basically set up a chance for our teammates to surprise them. So Kevin can actually place multiple nodes for the teammates to go to.
I was just about to ask about that. So, and does it split it up? Blue squad, yellow squad?
Exactly.
They're probably not called blue squad and yellow squad.
That's blue squad and gold squad.
Oh, gold.
And so you can utilize those tactics to counter them. And from this vantage point, you're going to see again more of those enemy tactics.
This does give you a nice look down onto the battlefield.
Okay, as you move down, we can also see just again a lot of the environmental destruction. Like if you throw a grenade at the carts, you'll see how we have a whole bunch of different objects that'll react to gunfire. You see the hood of the car there exploding. You can shoot all the little goodies off that stand. So really, again, particularly with the move, it's so much fun interacting with the environment and having every shot you land really affect the combat area.
Yeah, and you get to send, the biscuit boxes flying.
And so this is actually the first mission in the Socom 4 campaign.
Okay.
We're aiming for over 12 hours of gameplay across 14 missions. So all this
just in the solo campaign.
Just in the solo campaign. So all you're seeing here today is just a taste of what the full Socom 4 experience involves.
You guys aren't messing around on the first mission, that's for sure. Now this is a pretty open area, but mostly it's sort of you move from area to area with your fire team, and you encounter these soldiers. Who exactly are these guys? Give us a little more backstory on
that. They're known as Naga. They're a revolutionary movement in the Southeast Asian nation, and they're really looking to overtake the country and really put in place new policies that they want to see. But they have a plan, and there's not a lot of intel at the beginning, but you know that some sort of major attack is going to happen along the Straits of Malacca, and you, the ops commander, have 6 days to counter this threat.
Figure out what it is and counter the threat.
So that's a big difference from the previous games where after every mission the team would always fly off in a helicopter somewhere to a warm meal back on the carrier. There is no extraction. You and your team are all that stands to counter this threat, and you're going to stay on the ground until the 6-day conflict is over. So each mission segues into the next one. There's no extractions, if you will.
Now, while we're on the subject of story, we got a question from Carl C. in Chicago, wondering if there's any story connection to previous Socom games, or is this sort of a new set of folks?
I will say there are some connections, but I can't go into any specifics on what those connections are.
All right, all right. And it looks like there's the artillery you were looking for.
So there's the final objective. So once Kevin gets another laze here with the airstrike, you can call in the friendly support from the carrier.
The carrier gets to strike back. Uh-oh. That's a nice thing to get a cinematic view of, I suppose.
Absolutely. You like that payoff at the end.
Yeah, that is definitely nice. And thus concludes our demo.
Yeah.
But the questions are not over. They've been pouring in from people. We've got one here wondering about customization. You know, part of the tactical element of Socom in the past has been choose your loadout at the beginning of the mission. Does that play any role here in Socom 4?
Well, we have something unique that we're bringing to the table with Socom 4. You know, again, talking about the 6-day conflict and the fact that you don't have the level of, I guess, the ability to re-equip between every missions that you had when you fly back to, you know, a base or a carrier.
Sure.
So something we have is what we call the active armory. So your team starts with a set of weapons at the beginning of the campaign, and then it's up to you and your team to be resourceful as the campaign goes to acquire new weapons. So if you come across, you know, say a sniper who's got a really cool gun, if you pick up that weapon and leave the mission area with it, you will actually get that added to your armory. So
you get to build your own armory.
You get to build your arsenal, but it's up to you to, you know, sort of locate and look for these good guns to support your team. And that's something that I think really reinforces the fact, you know, you're outgunned, you're alone, and you need to do whatever you can to be resourceful to stop the threat.
Absolutely. Now, you pick up a sniper rifle, you pick up maybe a rocket launcher. We saw enemy squads working with those weapons. How does your squad, can you control the weapons they use? Can that affect your tactical approach?
Every member of your squad has sort of a key role on the team. They have a background, they have a specialization. So the weapons they have and the abilities they have really correspond to those things.
Sure. So can you give me an example of a specialization?
So an example would be the Navy SEALs that you start with, they're explosive experts, right? So when it comes to certain objectives, certain things to do, they generally have heavier weapons and the ability to complete, more like demolition style objectives. Where the other team is more about, more covert gameplay. So you saw in the demo, they actually had suppressed weapons. So if you come across an enemy and you really want to remain undetected, you might order your gold team to take that guy out rather than the other team to stay undetected. You don't want them laying down the heavy machine gun on that guy. You want to take him out with the suppressed SMG.
And that, imagine that has the implications for the bounding strategies and all sorts of the tactical stuff you got going on.
It really can factor in. Again, the idea of giving players tools to use to conquer each scenario. Again, our game is not intended to read like a script where it plays through the same way each time.
Sure.
We really want players to come back through the campaign and really utilize their own tactics or new strategies to see if they can, get another scenario to unfold. Let them influence the way the battle plays out, and the tools we're giving them will allow them to do that.
Well, it sounds great, Travis, and the game is looking sharp. Now, is there anything else you want to mention before we head out?
Well, again, Socom 4 is a PlayStation exclusive. It comes out this holiday season, and definitely if team-based action interests you, this is the game to buy.
This is the one to check out. Great, Travis, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Kevin, great shooting, my man. Folks, hope you enjoyed that look at Socom 4. We're going to take a break now from the live set and throw you off to another one of our excellent tape segments, giving you another look at different facets of E3.